Max Verstappen is a very popular F1 driver, and although many of us know his father and his girlfriend, he does have some interesting stories behind him that nobody knows about. Jos and Kelly are always there to support Max in his races and are probably his biggest fans. But Verstappen's generational talent had some work to do before he became what he is today. After he won a championship, his anger and tantrums can be seen in moments when stuff doesn't go his way. But let's leave that for another time, as we'll explain the story of Max Verstappen's family and his girlfriend in this video. Stick around with us until the end of this video, as you may find some shocking facts about Verstappen's relationship with his father. It's not a surprising fact that Verstappen chose a driving career. Ever since he was just 4 years old, he was working with his father, who was then a race driver too. Jos Verstappen has had a career in F1 from 1994 to 2003, with some pauses in between. However, his success is nowhere near what Verstappen has achieved so far, as Jos has retired 57 times in 106 races and only managed to finish third place on 2 occasions during his career. However, Jos Verstappen is the winner of the 24 Hours Le Mans, and that's a big accomplishment to achieve. Verstappen's racing career started at the age of 4 when he first entered a karting competition along with Leclerc. But Verstappen didn't enter the karting and the whole racing career just because of his father. His mother, Sophie Kumpin, was also a very good karting driver. She has fought some serious names like Giancarlo Vicicella and Jarno Trulli for the Andrea Margutti Trophy in 1995. But due to her marriage the following year, Sophie had to abandon her racing career, and this was a tough decision to make, as you can imagine. Because our racing careers, we couldn't see each other, we had to make a choice. Jos was already driving in F1, and I dreamed of that too, but had yet to start. I couldn't ask him to give it up. I had done some testing in motor racing, but it wasn't easy. Possibly it would take me years to get good, so I stopped, said Sophie. When Max Verstappen crashed out and lost the karting championship, he tried to explain the situation to his father from his perspective. However, Jos was furious and didn't want to hear anything about it. At one moment, he stopped at a gas station and told Max to leave the car and that he wouldn't talk to him again. His mother was following the van behind him after the race, so he stopped right at the gas station and was able to pick her son up. So the tough love narrative really starts to shape up as the life story of Jos and Max. On one other occasion, Jos made Max practice during winter. Despite the very cold temperature, Jos would leave the van running so Max could warm up his hands occasionally, but when Max was taking too long to warm up his hands, Jos forced him to drive with the current condition of his hands. Over the years, the marriage between Jos and Sophie has started to show signs of failure, and in 2006, the relationship ended. A year later, there was a huge scandal regarding Jos and his behavior, as he was sentenced to a suspended prison sentence and a fine for assaulting the property of his wife. After this, Jos was very busy with his son Max, as he was training him to become what he is today. This was the chance for Sophie to return back to her racing career, as she made her comeback in the Formido Swift Cup in 2013. But the definitive end of her career was a very brutal one, as she crashed her Suzuki Swift at the end of the season in Zandvoort, track in Netherlands, and broke her spine. Anthony Kumpin is Verstappen's uncle, and he was also obsessed with racing. He raced initially in the karting categories, but after he transferred to GT championships, he managed to win the G2 championship in 1998 and the GT1 in 1999. He has also won the 2014 and 2016 NASCAR Euro Series. Verstappen has a younger sister, Victoria Jane Verstappen, who tried out in karting a long time ago, but she decided that this isn't her life path and is currently owning her own fashion line, Unleash the Lion, with over 230,000 followers. She isn't married, but has 2 babies named Luca and Leah with their boyfriend Tom Hughes. Max is often seen on his social media hanging out with his nephews and his younger sister, so it's safe to say that they're very close family members. What's more interesting is the fact that Victoria and Max have never argued nor been in a single argument. The reason behind it isn't very sweet, and it's mostly because their parents are divorced and they didn't have a chance to grow up together for the whole childhood. Also, Victoria travels less now that she's a mother and isn't present in most of the races that Max goes in, giving her support from her loving home with his nephews. Victoria wasn't able to come to the season finale in Abu Dhabi last year because she had given birth to her baby Leo, But when she was asked about her son's steps in her future career, she said that she wouldn't love it if they decided to go after their uncle or grandfather's footsteps. Verstappen's other half is Kelly Piquet. They have been together since 2020, and she's a Brazilian model. She's the daughter of the famous F1 driver, Nelson Piquet, and is 9 years older than Max. Moreover, she has a child with a former F1 driver, Daniel Kvyat, who was born on the 27th of July 2019. Max seems like a very liberty kind of person, so he doesn't mind about Kelly's past and her kid with Kvyat. For things to be more awkward, Verstappen and Kvyat were teammates in Red Bull at the early stages of Max's career. Now Kelly is Max's biggest support along with his family. She travels everywhere with the team and was present with Max when they visited the newborn Leo. This goes to show that Max really means business when it comes to his love life, and when he focuses on it, the focus is no less than 100%. But how did Max become what he is today? True, the genetics has something to do with it, and his love for racing was just implemented in him at a young age. But that itself isn't enough to become a world champion, beating Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time world champion himself. Jos Verstappen had some serious rules that Verstappen had to follow, as they were very strict and bizarre when Max was losing races. Everything started at Jos Verstappen's workshop, which was a small moto factory in which he and Max would prepare for races, test out karts, and make new engines to better their chances of victory in international competitions. Jos was his biggest support ever since his first race, and the couple was traveling thousands of miles toward Netherlands and Belgium in order to find the best engines and carburetors that'll suit Max. However, Jos was a very strict parent and insisted on applying the F1 dream to Max. It's true that Max entered racing by his own wish, as he needed his mother on his side to convince Jos for his first karting race. But when he entered the karting world, Jos decided that he'll make the best out of his son thanks to his knowledge and experience. Their relationship has been described as a tough love, won by David Coulthard, a former F1 and Red Bull driver. Max recalled one situation in which he was driving really bad from his last years in karting. This is when Jos hit Max over the helmet in front of others and told him, "If you don't drive normal, we go home, I'll pack up everything." After this, Max went to qualifying on pole and won all the qualifying races and the main events. Max described it as a wake-up call and something that he needed for the wins to happen. Jos said that he knew Max's driving style and he could see if he was making bad choices or was driving bad, which was immediately seen from his side. It woke him up. He needed that sometimes, said Jos. All these things have made Max a better driver and better competitor. Yes, one would think twice before leaving their son at a gas station just because of a championship, thinking that the condolence method is by far the best option. But stuff like this has shaped Max to be a sharp-minded assassin from his car, not allowing anything to stick to him and always delivering under pressure. True that he has had some anger problems when he started to race, and they seem like they haven't washed away totally, but he's still a generational talent, and there isn't a driver on the grid that could be 100% compared to him. So it's safe to say that these methods of toughening up your son have worked on Max, as he's a world champion and is destined to win many more championships under the mentorship of his father Jos and Red Bull. Which part of this family life did you find the most interesting? Let us know in the comments below. Take care and drive safely.